Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. I like to look at everything, but we look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting who you're attracting, and what you can do to shape shift the energy because there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on your core beliefs, and it's those core beliefs that determine your actions and your behaviorisms, which make up for karmic lessons. So we're going to dive right on in today. But before we do anything of any importance or relevance, you can find in the description box about the channel, finding me if you wanted to book a reading, if you're interested in my shadow healing coaching program, if you're interested in purchasing my shadow healing Oracle deck. You can find all of that information in the description box. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word in the video in your comment bar. That will be on the first card that I pull out. It's the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. All right. Now, I also want just put this out there. I feel like a lot of people play the word of the video, but I've been calling a lot of people putting a lot of winner signs underneath people's comments, but no one's cashing in to like get their reading. So I just wanted to put that out there that if you want a reading, you have to subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, you'll never know that I chose you. And that's the thing. And also, it's bad karma not to. So don't play the word of the video unless you subscribe to the channel. Like, did I sound convincing? All right. Well, just don't do it. All right. Now, the word of the video. I know, I know. I don't want to make that type of commitment. Funny. Funny how like we don't want to make commitments in our life, but then we want people to commit to us, right? It's funny. We tend to be very I don't want to be bothered. And that's me too. But I think that Virgos happen to be conservative. It's like we don't want to be bothered unless we like what you're selling. And it takes us a long time to decide what we like and what we don't like. And a lot of times our mind goes back and forth to, I like it. No, I don't like it. Wait, I think I like it. Nah, I still don't like it. No, and the reason why is because Virgos are intuitive and they look at things from every single direction. They're one of the smartest zodiacs, if not the smartest zodiac. And it's because most Virgos are highly sensitive. So they really are intuitive, whether they are a left brain intuitive or a right brain creative intuitive, it doesn't matter. It's that they're using their intuition, their higher self to make the most fairest judgment. A lot of Virgos are judges. They're not just healers. They're not just they're in the legal system. And the reason why is because it's the scales, right? The virgin is that she's pure, but she kind of looks like Mrs. Lady Justice a little bit when you look at the two. They look very similar, very similar. And it's because again they have those attributes, and the attributes are again that feminine energy. Doesn't mean that again you're not dealing with a masculine Virgo. Again, you might not say that you're a Virgo and you don't even have Virgo energy. I know I'm a Virgo and I don't have Virgo energy. I have Scorpio energy because that's my under zodiac. That's my moon zodiac. That's actually also my sun zodiac. So it's like I have a lot of Scorpio in my channel. I mean in my channel, listen to me, in my zodiac. So I wind up in my chart, I should say, not even my zodiac. So I tend to come more from that perspective, where again, you might be dealing with someone that's like a Gemini, but they have a lot of Virgo energy, and you're like, what is that? And it's because it's whatever is the planets that are dictating that person? Like, what is their moon, their emotions? How do they, and the other things. All right, you get my drift. Stuck. Nevertheless, I feel like you're stuck. Part of you is stuck, and part of this connection is stuck. And the reason why is because you don't want to like this person. You're like, I don't want to like you. I don't want to hold on to your energy. I don't want to feel your energy. You don't have anything positive to bring to me. You don't bring anything. And this person knows that there is still a spiritual connection. And they also feel like that they're stuck because part of them knows that they have to change in order to be with you. It's not that there's not a connection. There's a spiritual connection. The problem is that you and your person are both like kind of mirroring each other's energy, where you're fighting your head with your heart, and this person is fighting their head with their heart. And it's like, because for different reasons. You feel like you have a valid reason, and you're like, I have a valid reason because this person hasn't brought me anything. They haven't given me what I am deserving of. And this person knows damn well. Now, I don't feel for whatever reason in the beginning that they knew. I think that you were so nice and you were so kind. They thought that you were a little vulnerable. They thought you were a little naive. So they didn't really feel like they needed to give you anything. Now they're seeing a completely different side of you, and they're stuck because they know that they did not do anything right by you. And they're like, it would be so much easier for me to run away and never deal with this. And understand that's because they have the avoidant style, where they have never ever came back and apologized to anyone. They have never rectified mistakes. They've never done any sort of shadow healing. Now they might say that they have, but if they did, they not past the surface. They haven't gone. So they're stuck because there's this part of this person that is like, I don't really want to come back and be the one to come back. There's a sense of aggression there. But they can't deny that there's a lot of natural, like, energy, like you feel like home to this person. But they're needy. They tend to like people to chase after them. So unless somebody is acting really fanatical about, like, how they feel, which is somebody that's very controlling, someone that kind of brags to be with them, someone that sees them as the be and end all, which I feel like that was not who you are. It's like, if anything, you make this person feel like they're not enough, that they're small. And I feel like it's because this person sees that they didn't treat you right, and you're someone that is not going to let that go. And they know that you're not going to let that go. And they don't really have a reason of why they did what they did. It doesn't mean that they're not thinking about the old times. But again, this person is used of these attachment styles, which is, that really like a one-sided relationship where they're not used to having to be emotionally transparent, vulnerable, have to come back and apologize, have to really, you know, act committed in a relationship. And that's really what it is. And you're like, I'm not going to be your victim. It's like, and then what happened is I feel like you got very disappointed because what you saw was a lot of lies and a lot of illusions. Like, you're not really who you say that you are. It's like, and I see that because you're not coming close to me. So I thought that this is you almost, Virgo, like you're saying, like, I thought that you were acting that way just towards me, but this really is truly how you are, that you don't have relationships unless someone's falling all over you, and unless someone is like doing all the work, then you're going to give them enough to continue to do the work. But in that, you're expecting the person to completely abandon who they are. So even though they have this strong spiritual connection and we have some past experiences, it's not enough for me. It's not enough. Like you had to come back and apologize. You had to show me a different version of yourself. You gave me so little. And this person knows it. Trust me. They stayed away because, again, they didn't want to be blamed. They didn't want to take responsibility. They wanted to neglect that. They wanted to disassociate from that. And in that, it made you feel abandoned. All because they didn't want to deal with the criticism. And they act very, again, self-righteous, almost arrogant, like it was okay. When really it was like their stubbornness. You were making them, you were holding their feet to the fire. And it was, again, making them angry. If anything, it made them, again, think that you were being negative, but you weren't being negative. It's like they're negative and you're intolerant to it because you saw it as disrespectful. So now they're sitting in a place of still feeling this connection. And I feel like they were waiting for you to come back. And I know that that sounds crazy, but they almost are used to these toxic relationships that are on, off, on, off. And it's like, and what happens is over time, it erodes the trust. So this person's getting impatient because what they're seeing is that you're not coming back. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have feelings for this person. I feel like you do have feelings for this person. You're just not going to live accordance to like their rules because you just see it as manipulation. It's it's all about that. And so that they'll play dirty they'll even try and trigger you to think that they like other people, including a past lover, where they'll give extra time and energy where you're like, you don't have feelings for that person. You're hiding behind that person. You feel more comfortable with that person because you have history with that person. And that's the issue. You're like, I don't want to keep it in the surface where we have this intense spiritual connection, but you're always disrespecting me, that you're always trying to like manipulate me. And you're manipulative by being stubborn, by not giving me any energy. And then when I say something to you, you get triggered. And then you're going to hide behind other people, almost to be like, I can have a relationship. See, you're the problem. That's why they do it. They hide behind a past lover, or they give time to somebody that's really not worthy of the time. It could be someone that they work with, and they don't really have a connection to that person. But it's almost like they'll pretend to be extra friendly with that person, like they're better friends with them when you're around. To like almost like, see, I can have this relationship. The problem is you make it difficult for me to have this relationship when you're like, first of all, you don't give me that relationship. And second of all, it's like when you begin to really look, you're like, and you're not really even having that relationship with that person. You're pretending to have that relationship with the person to create an illusion. And that illusion is that the problem is not you, that you can be vulnerable, that you can be transparent, but for whatever reason, you just can't be that way with me. So again, trying to make me feel inadequate, trying to manipulate me, trying to make me angry. And I say something to you, you're going to act all self-righteous because you're really neglecting me, because you're giving me so small, so little, so obscure. It's like, but you're making it like I'm the problem why you do that. And so over time, it's like you began to get resentful because you're like, the problem never changes. You can just continue to do the same thing. And then when I move on, you're right fucking back there. It's like almost like, and it's almost like I said, so this is why you're like, I don't want any more of this. Whatever this is, I don't want it. And so your person knows that you're like, fuck you. You took it to the line. You took it to the limit. So you kind of come back here. I dare you to come back here. I want to see what you're coming back with. This is where you're at. It's like there's a resentful energy there, like enough fucking toying with me. Show me what you fucking got. Because this is who I am, and now this person is seeing you differently. They're not seeing you naive. They're not seeing you so innocent. They're not seeing you. They're seeing like that you're not gonna fucking put up with it. Like there's a new sheriff in town, and this person, it's again, you're like you're running around and you like you're not giving me anything. You're breadcrumbing me. You're just so obscure with me. You have to be cheating. You're showing display for your ex. So what are you still with your ex? Or is it just some random people? Regardless, you're not giving anyone anything because you're giving me such tiny, and I'm not giving you anything because you're not giving me anything, but you're going to run around to other people, pretend to give them stuff, sleep with them, fool around with them so you could again pretend to be someone that you're not, but you're still holding your energy is still attached to me. Why? Why? If you're not giving me anything, then why would your energy still be attached to me? When you had me, you didn't give to me either. You gave so little. And this is why this person's like, I can't really come back. It's like you felt like you were being treated as a child. Like this person would actually like scold you. Like again, get triggered by you when you would say, hey, this isn't okay to treat me this way. This isn't, but what they were trying to do was chip away at your confidence, chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away. That's really what it was to keep you small. It's a form of manipulation, the same as them acting like they really care about their ex or that they're going to give more energy to a coworker or somebody that you know damn well that they're not giving anything to. It's like now this is again on top says X factor too, but it's again, I feel like this is more about how they treated you because it also says on the card that you felt treated like a child when they would scold you and lash out at being scolded, right? So it was more like that. So, Bo, if there might be an X, then understand they were pretending to be like more connected to that person when really you're like, what are you trying to make the ex more comfortable? Again, like we don't have a connection, or you trying to prove to that ex that we have a bad relationship so that they don't have to feel bad that you're cheating, that you don't want to be with them. Like you always felt like that you're trying to manipulate, you're talking to multiple people, but you're trying to manipulate every single one of us at this point because you don't even really know what you want. All you know is that they have like an intimacy problem, and the fact that they can disassociate to the point that they don't really look at the fact that they disrespected you until now. Until now. It's like they finally see, oh, well, this person's intolerant. You know why? Because you haven't talked to them, because you haven't come back. And I feel like so many times they came back and you thought that they were going to like offer something or bring something. And what you saw is they never brought anything. They never gave anything. All they do is breadcrumb you, breadcrumb you, breadcrumb you to like make sure that you're still on the hook, kind of keeping you on layaway, trying to put you on the shelf. Like, I'll get back to you maybe one day. I don't really want you to move forward though, but I don't really want to give you anything either. So it's a real one-sided relationship, which is why you were like, I'm not sticking around for this. I'm not doing it. This person didn't expect you to stand up to their selfishness. They didn't expect that. And so now they're like obsessing because it's almost like can't have what they want, right? They can't have their cake and eat it too. So now they're acting like the victim. Don't get me wrong, they were completely like self-denying themselves. It's like in holding themselves back and playing the victim. It's like they want to be it, but their ego has more control over themselves than their conscious mind. They would rather stay lonely. And when you're like, well, guess what? When I was dealing with you, I was lonely. You didn't give anything. You gave nothing. It's like you deliberately held back. And that's why when this person comes to you, there's a part of you that's like, oh no, you're so toxic. You either want me to react and yell and scream so you can justify why you acted like an asshole, or you want me to cater to you and love you and chase you and make you feel so desirable. I'm not going to do either one. I'm going to be diplomatic. I'm going to be diplomatic, and that's going to make you really nervous because you're not going to be able to read me. You're not going to be able to read me. But we have a past life connection. And really, at this point, you're thinking that, oh, well, it's all about releasing fear and ancestral karma. That's what this connection is about for you. Because you're like, you don't do anything. You're like, it's all about your way, your way, your way. You need to release like limiting core beliefs. They like that's really what this person needs to do. This is what you're like to this person. You like so we go a little bit deeper and we'll see again, because on the surface, what we see is that this person is very resistant to looking at what they did. They're finally looking at it, but you had to cut your energy completely off. And I feel like they kept trying to get a reaction out of you. They kept trying to manipulate the situation. And all that really did was waste a lot of time and make you more resentful because you're like, okay, like you care more about being in control than you do about the connection. And that's truthfully like what you feel. And it's like, yeah, this person like needs to heal their inner child. That's really what that represents. They need to like heal their inner child. They have a lot of wounds. And so I feel like they have very avoidant energy. So I ask, like, are they going to come back? Are they going to do anything to repair the relationship? It's like when we see this type of energy, it's usually no, because they breadcrumb, they gave so little. So they, just the fact that you were like, what you're giving me is shit. There's nothing here. It's so little. It's like it was such a slap across their face, and now they're embarrassed. Now they're acting like the victim. Because it's again, they know that they weren't treating you fair. They weren't expecting you to stick up for yourself. But really, this person again feels like there's a lack. They don't feel like they don't have enough to actually give to you now because they know that they didn't give to you before. So if they come in now and really offer nothing, well, you're not going to keep them in your life. And they know that because it's like they didn't come in correct. So it's almost like come in correct or don't come in at all. Now, part of this person, I think, feels a lack just because they don't know how to come back and really rectify what they did. Not just having money to take you out and treat you well is what they would need to do to repair this. They would have to pour into you. And they know that. That's why they're upset. It's again, the judgment is they know it. They know that you judge them for how they treated you. That's so they also don't want to get judgment to come in the wrong way. They know that they want to be the one that's like the authority, right? Whether they're a man, woman, doesn't matter. They're the ones that want to come in and they want to be the one that's in control. They want to be the dominant one. So if they don't have money and they don't have a good enough reason of why they acted what they acted, like you're not going to put up with it. It's like, and that's what they know. So part of them is trying to heal themselves. Part of them knows that they need to make more money, have something again to order you, but they feel almost like they're also afraid because the connection is so strong and they haven't had good relationships that this could be like almost like a karmic contract. But really, I think in order for them to break the karmic contract, they, again, because this connection is karmic, it means learn. They have to do something differently. And what we see is when they first met you, they gave nothing. They didn't want to give anything. They gave so little, and I feel like they gave to a lot of people so little. So they were getting their emotional needs met, but they weren't really giving anyone else. So they didn't build anything with anyone else. They have a spiritual connection to you. It's not like they gave you more time, but because of this spiritual connection, they built, again, they still have it. It's never left. It's never broke. It never, so being that, it's like, they're like, I thought by now I would have been destroyed because I would have, you know, I would have met somebody. I would have done this, but the whole time it didn't. And so that's why they're like, I do have a connection, a very strong connection, but them having fear that it would be like a karmic contract, that like a negative one, like a trauma bond, is because they give little. And then who they are attracted to are people that put up with that shit. And so there's karmic consequences when, the person finally awakens and is like, wait a minute, you're giving me so little, let me fix that. And then, there's repercussions for using people, for treating people badly, for, I mean, they get involved with people of a low vibrational energy. So I feel like a few of you people are with some, are connected to somebody that got somebody else pregnant like a long time ago. They have kids with other people and they don't want to be with that person. But, you know, being a player, running around, getting their needs met from a bunch of different people. So of course they didn't build an emotional connection with the person that they got pregnant. So that relationship's a horror show because that one person that got pregnant is expecting them to treat them a certain way. They're not treating them a certain way because again, that's something that happens over time when intimacy grows, and they never did that. So they look at it like a chore. So again, try being with someone that gives you everything and acting like that person's a chore. Well, there's going to be karmic consequences over time. There's a lot of bitterness over time. This is what this person knows of their relationships to be because of that. Yes, this would be a karmic contract that would become broken because they would be giving more. They would be coming from their true self, their higher self. This person doesn't know of any other way because they've never lived any other way, is what I'm trying to get at. So they're right that it's a contract, but like if you're giving them an opportunity to break a contract by doing something different, by not being codependent, by not being needy, by not only thinking about themselves, by giving into the relationship, by again, forgiveness of themselves, forgiveness of you, of focusing on what's important. Really, but that's where I feel like this kind of is a karmic contract because you're like, I don't want to love this person. I don't want to be connected. I don't want to feel their energy. And Spirit says, well, you have to forgive then. It's like because what's binding you to them is the fact that you're resentful that they didn't turn into the person that they promised to be. You had expectations. You had expectations, and they had expectations of you too. You, again, showed them a completely different version of yourself, and now they're embarrassed. And they should be embarrassed. They should be embarrassed, which is why they're like, I don't know how to come back from this. And you should, again, be like, again, forgive. And even if you have to date and have a love affair with yourself in order to forgive. But that's really what it is. It's like what binds both of you two together is the fact that you both need to forgive. This person needs to forgive themselves from all the past relationships that turned into that. And again, for treating you badly, but they need to also ask for forgiveness from you, and not just ask for it, but changed behavior. But the problem is now that they don't have enough to give. So that's what the issue is. It's like that It's like now that I want to do it, I can't afford to do it. And that's probably because of the previous connection that they were with, or again, their shitty karmic behavior is it makes their finances look like a roller coaster. An open mind and the willingness to entertain new ideas repel stagnancy and lack of growth. So I feel like while this person is like in this energy of not really wanting to forgive and in their ego, you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? What are you supposed to do? And right now, what we see is like this person's not really doing anything, and you're not doing anything. You're both stuck. And so what spirit is saying is an open mind and a willingness to entertain new ideas. So it's about, again, going out and having a love affair with yourself, because how do you get new ideas? Well, you have to feed hobbies and interests and find yourself, and then that actually gets the energy to move. Ideas repel stagnancy and lack of growth, where you get unstuck. So part of you needs to do that in order to cut the energy. And then it's also understanding, why did you attract this person into your life? What are the spiritual energies here? Oh, please don't fall on the ground. Oh, wait, we didn't. It's my deck of cards. It's just going to fall all over the ground. All right. We pulled 6 inner child cards to see, and we see organized chaos. Card number 1, resilience, 3, 2, lies and secrecy, 3, space, 4, laughter, 5, and security and safety, 6. I could see a lot of gifts here, believe it or not, even though like this person, like I don't really believe that you're going to be in their life, because again, they're stuck in their ego. It's again, they're stuck in their ego, and like they want you to move. Yes, they're getting impatient. It's hard for them to hold back. They're trying to hold back. They don't want to come to you, but they're fighting it. Like, why? Because again, I don't want to shatter my self-image. You're the one that needs to come to me. Again, so the focus is on them, which means that they're still in their ego. So, and however long that's going to take. So I feel like Spirit saying it's like you grew up in organized chaos. So you might have grown up in an alcoholic family. You might have grown up with a parent that was just emotionally abusive. You could have grown up where there was some tragic event that unfolded in your home. Doesn't matter. It was still organized because there was still love. Everyone had love, but again, sometimes love didn't look like love. Okay. And so it was chaos. And so we know that because of the where did I pull it? There was security and safety I pulled out before, which I don't know where it went. Where the hell did that card go? Anyway, you have to take my word for it. Like it was like, so the security and safety from how you were brought up. And so it robbed you of creating yourself. You see this space here, that there's a lot of space to create. It's like a blank canvas, that whatever happened in your childhood where you didn't have that security and that safety, it doesn't matter, because you're recreating your life. You get to recreate your life. Being connected to this person, they would keep it as organized chaos, because we have a spiritual connection. So there's love, but it's chaos still. It's like, which doesn't look like love. It looks like, there's a lot of pain being connected to someone that's so wounded. So I have feeling like, again, your security was affected. That drives me crazy where that freaking card went. I'm like, where the fuck did that card go? I'm like, but I feel like that's really the issue. It's like you didn't grow up in that type of environment. Like cards are everywhere and they're gonna fall. So it was the fact that, you know, when we grow up in that type of environment where we feel like we don't have the security and we don't feel safe, well, it is chaotic then. Yes, we do form resilience because we have to, but unfortunately, we also create lies about ourselves. And then we feel like we have to like keep certain things about our home life secret because we're embarrassed of them, right? So there's a sense of lies because you're perceiving yourself through the wound of the ancestors of family because of what's happening. And then you're not creating yourself. Instead, if we're in the trauma and we're trying to survive as children, or we're more worried about how our parent is doing, or again, because that is organized chaos too, like having a parent that loves you and is doing the best that they can do, but they're barely making ends meet. People are shitting all over them at work, and they're fighting the devil every day. It's like that's organized chaos. It's like because it's like showing you that life is hard, that there is insecurity, there is no safety, right? And especially if you're watching that over time, it doesn't always need to be that you were beaten, that you, again, there was no security and safety because you were neglected. Sometimes the parent did the best that they could do, but you inherited the ancestral karma. It was what was happening in the environment. And when we watch someone that we love, someone that's close to us, that should be able to create security and safety, or I should say we associate that person with security and safety, and then what they're showing you is that they don't have any security and that they don't feel safe within themselves. We take that on as children. It's again, that's what inherited karma is. It's like that core belief now that we're not safe. And so where that's a lie, because spirit says it's again the lies. And it would be a secret too, because no one advertises they're inadequate. Oh, I'm inadequate. There's something wrong with me. No one does that. It's more like it's a little secret. It's a skeleton in the closet where really spirit says, no, that's empty space. And that's parts of you that you haven't created yet, that you haven't unfolded yet, that you haven't found within yourself yet. So you don't even know who you are. You're saying that you're that person. And in that, you're allowing that to influence your relationship. So where you're getting a person that's like, oh, I'm sitting here, I want it, but I don't want it. It's like, but it's making you feel like not secure, not safe within the relationship. It's like that. If anything, they would want to keep the relationship like a secret, maybe, because they're lying. Where really it's like spirit says you have resiliency, but it's not to try and make this relationship work. It's to go out and find yourself and do things that are going to fill you up, make you happy, make you laugh, bring you joy, because clearly the way that you were brought up, the joy was robbed because you weren't allowed to find yourself 100%. Here's that fucking card, security and safety, that I couldn't find. Like it was right here. I don't know why I couldn't find it. Anyway, so that's really what the spiritual blocks that need to be integrated. And again, it goes back to really you putting the energy all into yourself. Don't know where that card is. It was a mess, but it's a mess. But it was a card about growing oneself and about finding oneself, and that's really what you're being asked to do. Is you're being asked to pour the love back into yourself instead of being connected to a person that like it doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't know how to do it, doesn't know why to do it. It's like everything is uncertain, and it really shouldn't be uncertain. Okay, my things are starting to go crazy. All right. So we end off with one more card, Virgo. Let's see what is going to be one more message, because we see that you're not going to be with this person. They're just not on your energy level, not on your vibration. But again, you're being asked to like pour into yourself so you can evolve more Again, give yourself more love so you can become the expression of love, so you can attract people that are going to love you for who you are today, not like what you've gone through in the past, not match that energy. You don't want that. Faithfulness. And this is more about being faithful to yourself, which a lot of times, if we grew up in an environment where we didn't get love, we would accept the bare minimum. It's again, this person thought for whatever reason that you would, possibly because you gave them too much time. You probably said, well, I'm going to treat them the way I would want to be treated. And Spirit says, no, that's not, well, I don't know where you got that from. It's like, and you're like, well, doesn't it say that in the Bible? Doesn't it say that? And Spirit says, treat people the way you want to be treated, but you're not treating yourself well. Pour more love into yourself. When you pour so much love and time and energy into yourself, your life evolves. You meet new people. You begin to have a love affair with yourself where things of that energy come to you, and you wouldn't be entertaining this shit of, oh, I don't really know what to do. I played so many games, but you were connected to this the whole time, Spirit saying, instead of creating yourself and pouring into yourself. That's why. And so it's again about being faithful to yourself, that you commit to your mind, your heart, and your will, that you're devoted to the needs of your own soul, to trust in yourself, in God, and the universe, that the universe has someone perfect just for you, and that person's going to come in at divine time. And if it looks like a shit show like this, then it's a no-go. And that's what you finally understood. This person didn't expect you to let go. They didn't expect to have to come back and apologize. Now that you put them in the hot seat, it's like, oh, I don't want to like really come back and apologize. I don't really want to, because I'm afraid what you might say. You might reject me. And then, that'll just ruin my self-image. I can't, again, they're in their ego. And that's why Spirit says, no, it's about pouring into yourself and understanding that you don't need to repeat the same type of karmic theme that you grew up with. No, it's like we're born into the families that need to teach us. And then we have an opportunity to create a new life and with new people. Again, not people that do the same thing. Again, completely new people of a better energy as long as we are loving on ourselves. All right, Virgo, be true to you and love yourself. Remember, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Always be true to you. Love you. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.